And we're back. Sorry about this. My cat, and we're spending a little time with me, and she's been kind of maybe lately. And anyway, on to number 14. Possibly one of the most interesting villain songs to come out of Disney since 2010, and would be Friends on the Other Side. This is sung by the Shadow Man and Dr. Facilier, voiced by Keith Davis. And it's actually a pretty good song. And it ties a lot to the whole idea of deal with the devil. Oh, because there's the prince who he was trying to con in a way, and must give up something of his in order for to be deemed free, or move them freedom. He does this in kind of the showman style way. Hey, while the prince is getting freedom, his assistant or butler, I don't know what you want to call him, you're given the power to be a ruler in a way, or not be bossed around so much. So they kind of switch sides, but in the sense that this is basically the princess and the frog. The princess turned into a frog, of course, and I gotta let's say this is gotta be the best song in the movie. Yeah, I know. Sam Eagle, Sam Braun, or Braun, same with villains. But for me, I've always liked the villains. Heroes, those nowadays are kind of villains, however, I mean, getting more and more interesting to me, especially with the new film Maleficent coming out, or in theaters, depending on where you are. Anyway, Friends on the Other Side definitely shows a lot of Facilier's voodoo or magic, even to the point where it can be somehow creepy, like the shadow having a life of its own. It's not unlike that of Dracula's shadow from Francis Ford Coppola's version of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Uh, to having voodoo dolls with no minions. Number 13, The Headless Horseman from Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Oh, now, this song I will count as a villain song, mostly because as it's sung by the stories and villain from Buffalo. Bruce wants to scare Ichabod's brain away from his would-be girlfriend, Katrina, I forget the last name, and he does it in this eerie, kind of in the ghost story of the song. And like another song on this list, this one is a major earworm for me, especially around October, or because, well, like I say, I like stuff that's scary. And credit to Ben Crosby, his vocal work on this one, because when he sings it, it brings a lot of good atmosphere to it. And I've seen various music videos of this particular song. One of it that is a collaboration of various cartoons. It's kind of getting scared and freaked out at various times. But this song is a lot better. And let's face it, the Headless Horseman is probably America's most infamous villain or ghost. Especially if you're uh, in the New England area, between New York and Pennsylvania, um, more likely. Anyway, that's all I have to say for number 13. On to number 12, which is, let me see if I can remember what it's called. Oh, no. Mother Knows Best from Tango. You know, I just realized something. They're remaking a lot of the original Grimm's Brothers fairy tales. I mean, already they've remade Snow White twice. They've remade Sleeping Beauty with Maleficent. They're remaking Cinderella. And they made a piss poor remake of Red Riding Hood. But I will say this, Tangled does kind of bring a lot of the original story of Rapunzel back to the 20th century. But to kind of give a lot more explanation to the whole thing of Rapunzel's hair being so incredibly awful. But basically, Mother Knows Best is the villain of the Gothel, telling Rapunzel, or basically lying to Rapunzel what's out in the world and keeping her locked up in the tower. Now, we've all had those overly protective parents. And to tell us that the world is cruel out there, or you could die at any moment, and there are bugs that can eat you, there are horrible monsters out there that can try to kill you, and all that. Most of it's just lies. Let's face it. Mother Gothel almost kind of did her song away. That's right. And I will say this, I kind of like this villain. Well, a little bit. Because let's face it, she's just using Rapunzel for her hair and for the fact that if she's not getting the magic from Rapunzel's hair, she's aging rapidly. Until at the very end of the movie where I'm pretty sure Nostalgic Chick covered this one in top ways to die in the Disney universe or something like that. That in her falling that Mother Gothel doesn't die from falling. She dies by rapidly aging into dust. Because when she found Rapunzel, she was already kind of a clone. And she's been that way for a while. That being said, let's move on to number 12. Sorry that, I almost lost count for a second. Number 12 actually it comes from a Disney kids show. growing up, I kind of watched a lot of animated shows and that kind of stuff. And I will say this: were some good ones, some bad ones. One of which I can remember is the series Tailspin, and this song on the Thunder song, it's a song by Don Carnage and his pirate crew. I'm sorry, Sky Pirates. How it is great to be a pirate. Hear it, and basically they say what they did. Oh, I gotta say a little bit something about this one, especially with its name, the villain, and Don Carnage. I am starting to make a list of my top favorite voice actors, and so far I've got quite a bunch. Jim Cummings is going to be on the list. Tim Curry, I know, is going to be on the list. But on the topic of Jim Cummings, he does a pretty good job of doing like a phony Spanish accent with his character. Or it's kind of hilarious. He kind of brought that back when and he was voice acting for Romeo and Juliet to get Flamingo ornament. I love the guy. As funny as he is I do realize that there were a few dark moments with him. Number 11. And number 11 is the Dylan Praise song. And everybody knows this one. It's called World Praise Criminal Mind from the Great Mouse Detective. Yes. Mostly sung by Radian's henchmen. And Professor Radian is the main villain of this movie, which is Disney's version of the Sherlock Holmes stories. It's basically similar. And I will say this though, that there is one moment in the song, like any other person who's actually heard it has a comment like this. When the testament's in that part, all the widows and orphans you drowned, I've got a feeling this guy has done a lot more than just robberies and burnings and that kind of stuff, but he's also murdered. Not just the widows and orphans part that we don't get to see, but we do see him kind of off and off. What's the right word? Getting rid of one of his henchmen when they make a slip up. Well, via execution and through chaos. And if you don't know what I mean, you need to watch the first version of the Disney villain song list I've done. But with that said, let's move on to number 10. And with, no, that's not it. At number 10 is the song on, yeah, I had a list, but I accidentally lost it somehow. So I'll get back to you when I remember what it was. Until then, see you at part 3.